know it's like. This tense is not a question. We're very chill. Great, they're good.
30. Yeah, for you.
I wish you could.
I'll have to correct to the video. Sorry, I'm writing that wrong. Once a Oh, but so it's that's almost her whole life. Yeah, thanks. That makes me feel really calm. That's how my whole life. So actually, it's like I work with but so yeah, that happened once. You know what? Really mad about it. Okay, hello everyone. 5:30 start. 30 seconds. And opening prayer will be Elijah.
But dear God, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here today and that you would comfort and protect each and every one of us in this. So my prayer today is that we would walk in the fruit of the Spirit and how we act and how we talk to each other, and that you would be with us and that you would be glorified. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Awesome. Now we're in roll call. Okay, guys, today's question of the day is what is everyone's favorite movie? Michael Camilleri?
I like Gladiator.
Madison Benchfield? Matthew Dunn?
Fight Club.
Destiny Harris?
Seems perfect.
Charlie Bacon's Proxy, Max Barton?
Right here. I mean, I'd have to take a while to think on it, but there are a lot of good movies.
Sounds good. Caitlin Curtin's Proxy. Why is my computer crashing out right now? Give me a second. There we go. Ava Rasmus. Good choice. Richard Camus.
Forrest Gump.
Pat Thiessen.
Ocean's 11.
Kyle Lochner.
Monty Python, Search for the Holy Grail.
Annie Tomko.
Crazy Occasions.
Luke Williams.
Dead Poet Society.
Josephine Oladoy. Josephine. Karen Wilson.
The Greatest Showman.
Michelle Savarino.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Edward Curry.
Batman: The Dark Knight.
Jack Rankin. Jack. John Gibbons.
Tell me tomorrow to White House.
Adeline Clemmer.
He's not going to be here.
Kate Rector's Proxy, Peyton Honker.
Oh, Few Good Men.
Anna Kate Carlisle. Anna Kate.
Oh, she's coming.
Okay. Joey McClelland.
Reception.
Connor Klimek.
Grown-ups.
Nathan Ward.
Both sides.
Angelica Serna.
Notting Hill.
Riley Evers.
Living Hutchins.
Elena Rawson.
Pride and Prejudice 2005.
That's a good choice. And it's also the best Pride and Prejudice. Ben Solemn. That's actually maybe Foxy again. Lipidoy Iola. James Colley. Michael Heffernan.
Aqua's now.
Kyle C.
Diego and Jason.
Theo Audi.
Scary Movie 1.
Laurel Hamilton.
You want to go Batman movie?
Z Zavala.
Bullet Train.
Gabriel Polanecki.
The Lord of the Rings.
Bella Vasquez. Molly Schwartz.
The Notebook.
Libby Meester.
The Princess Bride.
Caitlin Garcia.
2000 Almost Days Honesty.
Clinton Fisher.
Mission Impossible is their one.
Aaliyah Applin.
The Hate You Give.
Diego Gonzalez.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Leo Wong.
It's also me too. Same one actually.
Kelsey Casella. I was gonna say that too. Danny Ward,
When Harry Met Sally.
Elijah Jones,
Listen on.
Sam Robinson,
James Bond Skyfall.
Meatballs, greatest movie ever. Not according to Mo, apparently, had that conversation earlier. Joseph Tooney, Megan Klein, Jerry Bielhauer,
Moneyball.
Sonia Lumley.
Selena, but the 1990s version.
And Mo, please.
Empire Mexico.
Okay, and then also today, because I'm assuming a lot of people will be speaking, please state your name for the minutes before you speak today. It'll help me out immensely. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Executive announcement should have been before this, but so dedication of the Notre Dame Circle to women on campus on this Friday, 3:30 to 4 p.m. Awesome time. Farmers Market, September 19th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then on the agenda, the prayer form and the Senate proxy form is also linked. But don't finish that. Sorry, y'all. Okay, motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve the minute.
We will now vote on the motion to approve minutes. All of those in favor? All opposed? Abstain? The minutes are approved. Okay.
All right, so we're in an impeachment hearing, guys. So, a removal hearing, I guess. So this is just to give a little context, this is the first one in about a little over 15 years or so. So there will be some new procedures that we'll go through. So first off, I guess Elijah and I are going to hand out some evidence packets. So you'll have the one that you guys had last Senate meeting, and then you'll also have some evidence that was provided by Michael, which I printed out and stapled, and we'll pass this all out to you guys. So if you guys are voting members of the Senate, please just raise your hand.
Why don't you talk through the process?
Yeah,
before
no,
we start
okay,
passing
yeah,
stuff out?
of course. So before we pass things out, then I guess I'll talk about the process a little bit. So what it's really going to look like today is we're going to give Michael an opportunity to present his evidence and testimony in his defense, and just really to talk about his side of the story a little bit. And so, like I mentioned, we haven't had one in over 15 years, so there doesn't exist like a clear procedure in the Senate bylaws. And however, we did recently amend the Senate bylaws last spring to include a little bit more information about the removal process. And so this means that today we're going to be basing our procedures slightly off of some other hearing processes that exist within the student union, particularly within the Student Union Ethics Council and elsewhere. And so we are going to give you guys the opportunity to set a time for Michael. So the first motion we'll make is the motion to set the time for Michael to kind of present his evidence in his defense as stipulated in the bylaws. So you guys get to choose whatever time limit you want for that. Michael will have the floor. He'll be able to talk, present evidence, call witnesses, whatever he wants along those lines, and field questions from the audience, which I know was a major point from last week. So this week, you guys will have the opportunity to question him, and Sonia will be moderating that kind of Q&A period, if that makes sense. So you'll raise your hand, Sonia will call on you, and then Mike will have an opportunity to answer that question. And after that time limit is up, or once everyone is done speaking, you have a couple of different options. So if the time limit expired and you guys want to keep on going with the discussion, keep on going with Michael's time to talk in his defense, then you guys can motion to extend that period by however long you want to, and you can continue to do that for however long you want to. So there should be no concern about any sort of time constraints on this discussion. Likewise, if you feel that you have heard everything you guys wanted to hear from Michael, or Michael wraps up, then that means you guys have two options otherwise. You can then make a motion to call for Elijah to kind of return back and give a little bit of a recap of evidence, or so you can ask him some follow-up questions. This is all laid out in section 5 of the bylaws as well, the Student Senate bylaws. If you guys want to read that further, it's not super detailed, but there's a little bit there. So you'll have an opportunity then to ask Elijah questions if you want to. So you can make a motion to do that and set a time limit for that and ask Elijah questions in that sense. If you guys don't think that is necessary, you then will make a motion. You can then instead make a motion to go into debate, in which case you guys will have the opportunity to debate whether or not the evidence presented and the evidence presented in counter to that warrants removal from the Student Union Senate for Michael. So that you guys can set the time limit for that again, and we'll have a very courteous debate in that sense. Michael will be asked to leave the room as always, as custom, but that's not necessarily, that's just the custom of the Senate, something that we encourage strongly. And then after that, there'll then be a motion to vote on that, if that makes sense. So you guys will then make a motion to vote on the question of removal. And so this doesn't just have to be a raising your hand motion either, like you can motion to have a closed vote, you can motion to do a roll call vote, you can motion to do a variety of things. But at that point, you motion to vote on the question and then we vote, in which case we need, in order for removal to happen, 2/3 of senators have to vote in, 2/3 of voting members of the Senate have to vote in the affirmative, in which case Michael would be removed from the Senate, and then we would continue on with the rest of the agenda. Does anyone have any questions about that process? I know it's a lot. If any questions arise during the process, like raise your hand for a point of inquiry, Sonia will call on you and she can answer, I can answer it for you as well. Any questions before we pass out the evidence packet? Nope. Awesome, then we'll get to it. And raise your hand if you're a voting member of Senate, please. Thank you so much. And we'll be recollecting these at the end of the meeting as well, like last time. Thank you.
Yeah, there's another one. There's a second, I can kind of.
Oh.
Yeah, right, not to that, let's. Packet from last week, and then Michael. And in a packet of additional evidence that you guys are receiving, I think they have passed that, they each have for file. Okay, Sarah, why did it approve it? Watch that.
Is there two?
Yeah, Sam got it back, Elias got it back, yep.
Okay, I'm gonna just do some reminders of decorum while the packets are being distributed.
Oh, yeah.
As Sam said, I'll call on people to ensure everyone has a chance to speak. So that means no side conversations and keep all comments on the topic. We're not here to degrade somebody's character or anything like that. The question at hand, more simply put, is are there grounds to remove Michael from his position as senator of St. Edward's Falls? So the process, as Sam said, is similar to the one that the ethics committee ran. So keep all comments, questions, etc. on the basis of the evidence.
Does everyone have both packets? I know there's confusion. There are two separate packets. One of Michael's evidence and then one of the evidence that was presented to you guys at the last.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maddie, you have more. Both of us. No, she's right there. She'll come back now. Did I have a? We should do. I'm sure we're the other one. Elijah, Elijah, do we have a couple things? Get a couple of there.
What, look like I have a packet? Am I a voting member of the Senate? Then I wouldn't have a packet in front of me.
Yeah, you're like running. And then here is.
I'm just a pretty face in the corner, so you know that.
I love that.
Everyone have a packet? We're all good? Yeah.
I was far too young. I loved that. It was so awesome. Alrighty. You need a motion to set time limit to S. Yes. We will now vote on the motion to set speaking time to 10 minutes, as you said. Yep. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstain? Okay, speaking time is 10 minutes, Michael.
All right, so I have new evidence for this meeting. On the first page, you'll see a letter of support from the class of 2025. So the people who have graduated who were seniors instead at the time of my election. And after that, you will see a petition signed by 121 Stedsmen. I know last meeting you guys heard 25 to 30, but I mean, you can see 121. The F is for freshmen, next to their signatures, J for junior, S for sophomore, and it should be like SE for seniors. And so you can see I have a variety of support from every class year. And when you do the math, there's about 153 undergraduates living in Steds, not including the seniors who live off campus. Subtract one, me. There's one guy who's having surgery, and some people who live there but don't live there. So let's call it 150. So I have over 80% support from my constituents. And let me also add, nobody declined to sign. I just couldn't track everyone down. I was just going door to door politely, asking for everyone's signature, and well, the statesman turned out for me. What can I say? And there was a couple other points I want to go over. Last week, you heard it said that I ran just to win the election, which is not what I said during my hearing. I said I ran to win the election. Two very different things. So you can kind of see that the evidence is becoming one-sided from the Judicial Council inquiry. I would also like to add, I only got 5 minutes of speaking time during the Judicial Council inquiry. So they only asked me questions for 5 minutes. And then they presented this. So my argument, I guess, for why I shouldn't be impeached is two things. I have the full support of St. Edward's Hall. They don't want me to come to meetings. They affirmed in this petition that they don't want me to come to meetings and they respect our decision. And also that the Judicial Council evidence that you all voted to have an impeachment last week is one-sided and false. That's not an attack on their character or anything. It's hard to get that information, but they didn't get it. And there were a lot of misquotes. There was misinformation. There were things that didn't accurately represent the situation. And when you look at the situation as it's accurately represented today, I have represented my constituents, and I don't think anybody can argue against that. You could say I broke the Senate laws. I mean, I did. I didn't come to the meetings. You got me. But this is what my people want. And, you know, you guys, it's hard for you to understand, Steds. I live there. I sleep there. My brothers live there. I care about each and every one of them. And they care about me. And I heard them. And you can see it here. You can see it in every single signature. Every single signature was somebody who I approached. They read the statement and they signed. They agreed. So I just want you all to consider that if you vote to impeach, you're voting against the will of St. Edward's Hall. You would be forcing someone elected who doesn't properly represent what they want. And just consider that the evidence last week didn't represent the situation. There were some false statements in there. I think my character was misrepresented. I think it painted a lazy character. I spent the last week going door to door, understanding my friends and brothers, and I'm just doing what they want at the end of the day. And if I am impeached, someone else will get elected, and Will of Steds will triumph no matter what. I can say that confidently. I just have a quick question. I have an email that got sent before or after the time you asked me to submit all the evidence, and it's from a freshman. Am I allowed to read it or no?
You can read it if you would like.
Okay. This is an email from Ian Moore. He's a good buddy of mine. He's in my old room, the room I was in last year. And you know, I stopped by. We play a lot of UFC 5. I beat him every time, but to whom it may concern, I give my full support to Michael Heffernan. He embodies the Notre Dame mission by going above and beyond his call of duty. He has developed a connection with each and every member of our hall. No one in St. Edward's is unaware of his existence because he devotes so much of his time getting to know each hall member. On top of that, he possesses very strong leadership skills and ability to capture everyone's attention. I consider Michael to be the pillar of our hall, the one man I would want to represent us. I truly believe that not electing Michael Heffernan would be a detriment to the St. Edward's community. And if anyone wants proof, I can just take a screenshot. Just consider that if you vote to impeach, you're voting against an entire dorm. You're using your decision as an individual to counteract the decisions of an entire group of people, an entire family. Are there any questions?
It seems like based on the testimony of your family, like you seem like a pretty awesome guy. And you seem to give a lot to bring to the table, so could you come in the future?
The problem is I represent them. I do what they want, not what I want. So it seems like they don't want me to go. So I'm a servant of their will.
I choose.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I kind of have two questions, but I guess my first question is did anybody run against you? And If so, like, why did you want to win? I know you said like to win, but like that's kind of vague. And also, wouldn't coming to the Senate meetings and then just voting to abstain accomplish the same goal of what you're doing now? Like, obviously, you don't want to vote, but if you just vote to abstain, it's the same thing.
On the abstain question, I think that just kind of shows how meaningless this is. I could come to every meeting and abstain, or I could not come at all. It makes no difference either way. So the specific rule that I broke doesn't really matter at all. By the way you phrased it. What was your other question?
I said, did anybody run against you? And
Yes.
then, like, why did you want to win? Because you said to win, but that's kind of vague.
Oh, that is very vague. Well, I mean, of course, everyone would like to win. And that's just like, that's an instinct. Everyone likes winning. But I promised them I won't go to the meetings. And I won. I ran against two people. So they had two other choices. It wasn't like a single party election where I'm just, I guess treating it like it wasn't unfair in any way. I won fair and square. And I mean, I have the support of my family, of my fellow Stedsmen.
Yeah, so. Howard, why did you ask, why was your campaign that you wouldn't go to Senate? And two, why do the people of Steds not want you to go to Senate?
For the reason why they don't want me to go, I don't know. It's a personal choice by them. I mean, I can't read their minds. I just do what they ask of me. And I mean, I was just giving the people the choice. And like the choice, maybe you don't want anyone to go to the meetings. And that's what they chose.
Yeah, Tayo Ollie. I guess like a point of clarification on your petition, where you're saying absence of itself can be a powerful statement. Did you write this petition or was it generated by the members of the Steds community? And if so, like what statement does absence prove? If you have like any like explanation behind that?
Well, I wrote it and everyone who read it signed it. And I guess absence to all the other Stedsmen takes on a different meaning for every person. I'm not out here to prove a point. I'm really just defending the St. Edward's rights to self-govern. And I think every Stedsman took something different from my decision. And I think they just found a voice through my decisions, if that makes sense. I asked about time.
We're at around 1 minute left, Susie.
Why, I guess two questions. Why haven't you asked your constituents why they don't want you to show up to the meetings? And will you ask this in the future if you remain as a senator?
Why they didn't want me to come to the meetings?
And then, like, have you asked them, like, why haven't you? And then would you in the future if you were to remain a senator?
I have not, and I don't think I will because I'm not gonna pry into their lives and ask why they want me to do what I do. I'm just gonna do what they ask of me at the end of the day. And to close, I would just like to read something brief. Alexander Hamilton, during the debate in New York to ratify the Constitution, stressed that our republic rests firmly on the right of the people to choose, and I quote, choose whom they please to govern them. Thank you.
So we could either extend time, direct questions to Elijah, or move into debate.
I'm not sure extend speaking time by 5 minutes.
We'll now vote on the motion to extend speaking time by 5 minutes. All those in favor? Oppose? Abstain? It fails.
Motion to move into debate.
Second.
We now vote on the motion to move into debate. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstain? We're now in debate.
A motion to limit speaking time to 1 minute. Second.
We now vote on the motion to limit speaking time by 1 minute. Correct? All those in favor? All opposed? Abstain? Speaking time is 1 minute.
Yeah, I'll put it.
Okay. Michael, you're welcome to leave, but just like last week, you're not obligated to.
I just wanna say, I think my concern with this whole, I guess, not showing up is I wonder what the Stead residents were told as to, like what happens in Senate. I think it's really important that people are represented from their dorm, and maybe this is like who said that they don't mind showing up, but if they don't understand what they're not being represented in, that's a problem. And I also think when it comes to matters of like, we talk about fiscal policy, we talk about campus belonging, and we talk about students who are like minority, or even on like the whole campus majority, we talk about important issues in Senate. And if there's over 170 or 150, sorry, people not being represented, that does present a problem, I feel like, in the future. And if they don't know that that's a part of this, just from the petition statement in and of itself, that doesn't make it clear what he's supposed to do as senator. I think that's.
Yeah, the Senate, like, we all know that the Senate bylaws are binding, and we all agreed to them when we became senators, and this includes the attendance policy. And I feel like if we allow this to continue, like, it just sets a bad precedent for, like, anybody can just get votes from their dorm to not show up and not do their job. Like, we all agreed to this, we all knew it was a thing when we became senators, so I feel like ignoring it is it's not the move.
Hi guys, I'm Eileen. I used to be the student secretary. I'm now the Bowdoin Hall vice president. I think something that might be interesting to consider, and maybe Michael, you know more about this. Do the Steads like Hall Gov? Do they go to HPC? And if yes, no, like, do they have the same consequence, or how does that work?
That's question. Yeah, we're in debate.
Okay, I think a brain's easier to think about.
Yeah, I'm just starting my timer.
Okay.
To make sure.
Yes.
You have a timer up here too, Mike.
I'm starting, Kyle.
Okay. Okay, so Kyle Lochner, Senator of Dunn Hall. I talked with my constituents long and hard about this issue last night. So it was a very productive conversation. Basically, I do agree with the claims that there's a two-way stream responsibility, one to our constituents and one to the Senate. When we all decided to run for senator, we kind of took on the implication that we would follow the rules here. That's kind of what this whole impeachment's all about. It's not a question of whether we are serving them. It's a question of, are we following kind of the rules that we all agreed on as senators and voted on within the first couple of weeks. To the other point, I think it sets a bad precedent. A lot of people don't show up. When he doesn't show up, there's one less person on a committee. So then we have to start picking up the slack. All of us serve on departments. One less person on a department is just more responsibility that we need to take up and carry ourselves. And okay. Says I had 7, but okay.
Alright.
Can I yield time, Kyle? I like to yield time, Kyle.
Okay. Basically, I think this issue's pretty cut and dry. I think you all know what side I lean on. If it was a piece of chicken, I would choke on it.
That's great.
I'm Laurel Hamilton from Walsh. This is just like a quick point. I think that we can all agree as representatives of like our dorm that dorm culture is one of the most important parts of Notre Dame. But I think that also applies to interdorm culture and how that's really important. And I think that like it's clear that Steads has like their own culture. And I think that's great. It's clear that you guys have like a really intense sense of camaraderie, and I think that's amazing. But I do think that not coming to Senate where we foster this sense of like camaraderie among all the dorms, like working together as a team, kind of goes against like the Notre Dame mission of being like a communal force for good. And that's just a food for thought. I feel like that kind of goes against how dorm culture is not just in your dorm, it's also throughout the community.
I would say like a point of debate is that like he admitted to missing the amount of meetings and like breaking the Senate bylaws, but he's saying that it's justified because it's what his dorm wants. But like, where do we draw the line between which laws we can break because our dorm wants them to? Like, if my dorm voted that I didn't listen to any of the bylaws, then like, would that be allowed?
I think Indiana should just secede from the union. Part of it. But I think a really big contradiction here is like, it says we stand behind Senator Heffernan and trusting and exercising his judgment and autonomy. Autonomy as our representative, like his own ability to attend meetings and make decisions. But he's basically saying he's some sort of like servant to his hall completely, where he has no decision-making power, which I think is a little bit contradictory.
I mean, I just use my autonomy to align with my constituents. And I made judgment based on what they wanted. That's what the autonomy is, the autonomy to make decisions for their best interest.
Next, you're no longer a proxy, because the
The
senators.
Carroll Hall senator showed up, so like now the Carroll Hall senator is the Carroll Hall senator. But you're more than welcome to stay, and if someone wants to yield time to you, like 100%.
Here we go.
I yield my time to Max Party.
Yeah, thank you. American values. Why do you think I'm wearing an American flag? American value. The value and right to choose, the right to choose your government. If someone suppose decided to put stealing as a legal thing in the Constitution, they would understand they could be stolen from as well as they could steal. If 80% of a hall understands the risk that they might get a senator who flakes instead of one who listens to their voice, they're taking that risk. They understand that risk. What good is a Constitution if it does not support its people? It is blind and it is effectively illegitimate. I mean, if a Constitution is passed by its people, it needs to support those people. And if you vote to impeach this man, you're making the Constitution an entity of its own, which it cannot be.
I yield time to Max.
And the point that I raised this point last week as well, and I want to bring it back to your attention. When my senator last year decided to vote in favor of the student activity fee, should he have been impeached because I disagreed with it? Should he have been impeached because 100% of the people did not agree? What is the good of that? What is the good of expecting a person to represent every single person? He represents his constituents. There is nothing better than that. There's nothing better than that at all. So I really do truly believe if you choose to impeach this man, you are silencing the voice of the people. You are silencing the voice of the people, just as well as the person who put speaking on this debate has chosen to silence people. If the role of the Senate is to silence people, we cannot call ourselves just. We can't. That's why you should not impeach this man.
Molly,
Motion to move into a vote.
Second.
we need a motion to move out of debate.
Out of debate into a vote.
We will now vote on the motion to move out of debate into a vote. All those in favor? Oops, sorry. All opposed?
Let me just double check, I'm sorry, can you raise them higher? I'm so sorry, guys.
Abstain? Okay, it passes. We'll now vote on the removal of Michael Heffernan as the Senator of St. Edwards. All those in favor?
This is like actually, raise your hand
Like,
really high.
raise-
I'm so sorry.
No. All opposed? Abstain? Passes.
Yeah. 20, so the final vote count, just for full transparency, is 22 in favor of removal, 11 opposed to removal, and the remainder of Student Union Senate abstaining. Therefore, the total voting number in Senate that counts is 33 because abstentions are removed from the total vote count. So out of 33 members of Senate, 22 voted in favor and 11 voted against. Therefore, there's a 2/3 majority in favor of removal, meaning that Michael Heffernan has been removed from the Student Union Senate as of now.
Point of order, can I motion a revote?
Did you vote against the removal of the senator? So you can make a motion to reconsider if that is what Senate wants to, and we can vote on the motion to reconsider, but that is within your right to make.
Motion to reconsider.
We can vote on it.
Second.
We now vote on the motion to reconsider. All those in favor? All opposed? It fails. I'll share it same. Okay, moving on, we have nothing in general orders. Okay. We do have something in new business. Point of inquiry.
Motion to move the FY16 thing out of new business in the general order.
Oh, wait, let me get to. Is there any objections to the unanimous consent to move item A into general orders? Seeing that there are none, it is now in general orders. Either a motion to dispense the reading or.
Motion to dispense of the reading.
Second.
We now vote on the motion to dispense the reading. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstain. The reading is dispensed with. We are now in questioning.
This is just for the ones that have gotten like suspended and there's no election.
Referring the question to Elijah, who's the author.
Yeah, so, and only it's all only one person requesting cease.
Point of inquiry, is there any dorm that there's not anyone running at all?
No, every dorm has one, so by the end of today, we'll have all 32 representatives on the board.
Motion to move out of question into the debate.
Second.
We now vote on the motion to move out of questioning and debate. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstain. We are now in debate.
Does Steads have a representative?
Yes.
Not as a person. Yeah, no, also that's the question we're now debate.
Just asking like a representative here in the room or a
No,
representative like for
like-
first year class council?
Yeah.
Okay, Yeah.
Yeah, you can phrase it as like a debate point and then someone else can.
yeah.
I think we should strongly look at the fact that Seth has I don't know, it's just, I really can't.
You could make it, phrase it in new ways to debate, okay.
I'll at least send some.
Okay.
Motion to move out of debate and do a vote.
We now vote on the motion to move out of debate into vote. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstain? Okay, we will now vote on order SO 2526, I believe 07, in order to suspend unopposed hall elections. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstain? It passes. Okay. Next, we are now in announcements. I don't have anything, but does anyone?
So we'll be having Acoustic Cafe tomorrow. We have, I think, 4 performers, definitely 3, maybe 4. We also have a food truck, so Smothered Fries food truck. So that's really good. That's on everyone at 8:30. And then on Friday, we're doing a pumpkin painting event on Fitzpatrick Terrace outside the Guard at noon.
Royal Assembly Hall is having their annual Hold Down Throwdown in Southcott from 5 to 7 p.m. tomorrow. All donations go to a food drive, if I'm not mistaken. So, thank you.
Howard Hall's Totter for Water starts on Thursday at 4 p.m. and goes until Friday at 4 p.m. So come out and donate to Engineers Without Borders and ride the teeter top.
This Monday through Wednesday, MSPS Multicultural Student Programs and Services is doing, shout out MSPS. They're doing like this giant piece of artwork, where like you paint like a 3x3 tile. And like, there's gonna be a huge artwork and it's like 1,200 people. So like Monday at noon it starts. So if you stop by like Fieldhouse Mall or La Fun, like I was talking to my ex-girlfriend's dad and he was like, get people to show up for that. And then on Friday, it's a football Friday, so Alumni Hall will be quancing at 12:31 p.m. So stop by South Quad, crowd engagement, be there.
North Family Hall will have a concession stand on South Quad on Saturday, 10 to 3.
Ryan Hall is having a signature event on September 27th. It's wheelchair basketball. You guys should totally come out. Teams of 5, register by September 24th.
I know Sonia mentioned at the beginning, in case you missed it, the South Bend Farmers Market is happening this Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Great opportunity to come support local vendors and they come right here to campus for you.
Kio's Chariot Race is next Saturday, the 27th. If any of you would like to sign up with your dorm, feel free to look online.
Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
We now vote on the motion to adjourn. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstain? Okay, see you guys next week.
Oh, please hand back the evidence packet. I'm so sorry, I forgot to say that. Please do not keep your evidence packet. Yeah.